What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another spring game recap. I know a day late and a dollar short. I was hit with a little bit of sickness yesterday, but I wanted to go in. There was a couple really interesting spring games I thought yesterday, and I really wanted to touch on some of them today. We're going to talk about the Texas Tech Red Raiders spring football game. All right, so for starters, they only let us watch the first half, which I'm not really sure why they ended up kind of pulling the rest of that game and not having it on. I was watching it on ESPN Plus or 3, I can't remember. But they ended up pulling the game for some reason after halftime. So some of these stats, we only got to see part of the game. The rest of this came from people who were at the Texas Tech spring game, reporters that had watched the entire spring game. So Tyler Show was 22 of 32 for 164 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry, and 2 interceptions. Both of those interceptions were in the first half. One extremely bad one, and I believe the first one was on the actual first pass of the game. Not surprising if you guys know anything about Tyler Show and what he was able. I'm sorry, Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck. I keep saying Show. Tyler Shuck. What Shuck did at Oregon and then obviously at Texas Tech. Baron Morton finished with the second best stats on the day, the redshirt freshman. He was 8 of 13 for 95 yards and a rushing touchdown. Donovan Smith was one that really struggled in this game, 3 of 7 for 49 yards and a touchdown. Before we get to the quarterbacks, really the only player that stood out was Myles Price, wide receiver. If you've been following us over at Campus to Canton, I've been talking about him since last October. Felix has been propping him up since like November, December as well. Like, this kid's going to break out. He's likely going to be in the slot, and we know what Kitley's offense can do with these players in the slot. You got Joey McGuire as well. The head coach is just going to be phenomenal play calling. Like, Myles Price is in for a massive season this year, as is running back Tahj Brooks, who I did not see any stats on the game, so I don't know if he did or didn't play, but he is also having an amazing spring. Those are the two guys that you really want to roster on the Texas Tech team. Now, when you go to the quarterbacks, there's a lot of interesting questions here, right? Donovan Smith, who played at the end of last year and has shown some really intriguing tools. He was recruited to Texas Tech as an athlete. Really struggled in this game. He had a couple passes batted down at the line of scrimmage. Just did not look like he was in sync. As I mentioned, he just went 3 of 7. He got the least amount of reps. And I don't know if that's because he just wasn't doing well in the spring game. There have been a lot of reports that he's been struggling in spring camp as well. Whether that's all kind of come together and then he's kind of fallen down the depth chart, I don't know. Baron Morton, who is a guy that I've been propping for a while now, Colin Decker as well over at Campus to Canton. We think that he is the most talented quarterback in this room. Again, he went 8 for 13, had the rushing touchdown. He's not a zero with his legs. It's not a main part of his game. But his arm is what is fantastic. We saw a couple of those throws. All the reports out of spring camp was that he has been by far the best quarterback who can throw and make big plays while moving out and inside the pocket. His legs. Donovan Smith is definitely the better athlete, but Baron Morton has been able to kind of make plays with his legs. Almost sneezed. Woof. And we don't edit anything else. I'm sure my face was fairly embarrassing there. Anyways, Baron Morton has just, I think, has been the best one. And in the game, if you were able to watch it in the first half, they did talk about how the last spring scrimmage they had before the spring game, Baron Morton was 20 of 22 and was by far the most impressive in that game. So he followed that up with another good performance here in the spring game. But Tyler Shuck still got 32 passes, which is, a lot more than the 13 that Baron Morton got. I think it is still Shuck's job at the moment, but I would not be surprised if this is a very short leash between the two. If Shuck goes out there, struggles early, it is going over to Baron Morton. The one thing I will say is both Coach McGuire has come out and said that this is nowhere near being decided yet. They've got all of summer and fall before they make the decision. I would not be surprised. May 2nd is the deadline to announce that you are entering the transfer portal. I would not be surprised if one of these three enters, and I think it's likely going to be Donovan Smith. If he has really fallen that far down the depth chart and is now locked in as the QB3, even after some good performances there last season at the end of the year, I think he's probably going to enter the transfer portal and move out, and that's going to leave it down to Baron Morton and Tyler Shuck. I think Baron Morton should be the starter, and I would not be surprised if he starts at some point in time in the 2022 season, as I just think we kind of know what Tyler Shuck is, and he's a good quarterback, but he's not above average or great, where I do think Baron Morton has a chance to be that. Would not be surprised if we see Morton sooner rather than later. But if I had to guess based on everything I've heard out of spring and everything that happened in the spring game, Tyler Shuck is at least the leader as of right now. So again, that'll wrap it up for your Texas Tech spring game notes here. Tyler Shuck likely in the lead with Baron Morton closing in. Tahj Brooks, running back, and wide receiver Myles Price are the guys you need to have on this Texas Tech Red Raiders roster because they are going to smash for you this year in CFF and C2C leagues. We'll be back here soon with some more videos, guys. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you can show us the love. Maybe drop a comment in there who you really like, help the algorithm out a lot. It helps us out, and we love you guys for helping us out. Thank you guys so much, and have yourselves a good weekend.